Hello, this is Argon again. I have a video here for Honors and AP. It's a must-watch video. It should give you an idea of what the particulars of the summer assignment are all about. First of all, I want to start with the Honors. Page 1 of your summer memory work says that you are to memorize the first 54 elements on the periodic table, their names and symbols. I want you to get online, Google blank periodic table. You'll find something like this. Print out several of them. You can practice with these, okay? So print out several. You're going to need them. You're going to be able to use them to practice with. When you come back, you'll be given a periodic table that has just the names, and you'll have to put in the symbols, okay, like that. You'll also be given a periodic table that has just the symbols, and you put in the names, okay? This one you'll put in the names. This one you'll put in the symbols, okay? So you need to work on memorizing up through Xenon Warrior Princess, from hydrogen to xenon. Okay, let's talk about the periodic table a little bit. Periodic table is divided into groups and periods. Groups are vertical, up and down. Periods are horizontal. They go left and right. And they are families. They're metals and nonmetals and metalloids that are grouped together according to their characteristics. Okay? There's a numbering system. The newest numbering system is simply 1 through 18. Starting here, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 18 groups, okay, from left to right. The older system, which we're going to use throughout the year, and it is a and B. You start out with Roman numeral 1A, then you got 2A, group 2A, all the way up to group 8A, which are the noble gases. The noble gases, sometimes they just call that group 0 because they don't form many bonds. Some of them call it group 8A. We're going to refer to it as both from time to time. This is 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, and 7A. Okay? So we have group 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. You'll notice this step here. This step divides the metals from the nonmetals. All of these over here are nonmetals. All of these over here are metals. Okay? Those are all metals. Some of the ones on the ladder or step are called metalloids. They have characteristics of both metals and nonmetals. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about oxidation states. You need to memorize the main oxidation states of most of the elements on the periodic table. The oxidation states are they match the period numbers. Excuse me, the group numbers. Let me show you what I mean. Need to get my step back up. For example, group 1A, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium on down. Those all have a 1+ charge. The group 2A metals, starting with beryllium on down, beryllium, magnesium, and on down, they have a 2+ charge. The group 3A metals, that is below the step over on the right hand side here, starting with aluminum, they have a 3+ charge. Okay, 3+ charge. The next group, the 4A metals, have 2 charges, 2+ or 4+. And the last one, group 5A, metals, have a 3+ charge or a 5+ charge. And those are just the metals. All metals are positives. They all have a positive charge. Okay? The nonmetals over on the right, the noble gases, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, warrior princess, and radon, they have a charge of 0. Some people say they don't have a charge. They do have a charge. Their charge is 0. They don't form many bonds. They do have some bonds they form. They have some man-made elements that are. We have some man-made elements that have noble gases in them, compounds, not noble man-made elements, but man-made compounds. The next group over, from right to left, have a charge of 1 negative, all the way down. Those are the halides: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. The next ones, 2 negative, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, so forth. The next one's 3 negative. The next one's 4 negative. And boron, we're not going to talk a lot about. We're not going to memorize its oxidation states because it has some unusual bonding properties. We'll get into that a little later. So you need to memorize that fluorine on down, they have 1 negative when they bond, 2 negative for oxygen, sulfur, and so forth, 3 negative for nitrogen and phosphorus, 4 negative for carbon and silicon. Okay. Now, what are oxidation states? Well, wait a minute. Scandium right here, the first transition metal, it has a charge of 3+. Zinc over here has a charge of 2+. Silver, 1 down and 1 to the left of zinc, has a charge of 1+. Right above it, copper has a charge of 1+ or 2+. Okay. All the rest of the transition metals, first row only, the fourth period, 1, 2, 3, fourth period right here. That is titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, and nickel. All of those have many charges, but we're going to memorize 2+, 3+. That's just the fourth period. Now, those you need to memorize. What are oxidation states? What are they for? An oxidation state, or an oxidation number, is the charge an element takes on when it's bonding. Okay? For example, let's take sodium and chlorine. When sodium and chlorine bond together, we know they form sodium chloride. Sodium loses 1 electron, gives it up to chlorine. Because sodium loses an electron, a negative charge, it becomes positively charged. So an electron is transferred in the bonding. An electron is transferred. Okay, electron is transferred. And sodium becomes a positively charged ion. Chlorine gains that electron. It was neutral. Now after bonding, or in the process of bonding, it becomes a 1 negative. So these are the charges they take on when bonding. Sodium 1+, chlorine 1 negative. The nonmetals up here, the nonmetals have more than 1 charge, a lot of them. And that's because they have to bond with each other. When they bond with each other, one of them has to have a positive charge, the other a negative. But all you're going to have to concentrate on is what are the charge of all group 7A nonmetals. It's 1 negative. All group 6A nonmetals, 2 negative. 5A and 4A, just like their group number. The transition metals, you'll memorize scandium is 3+, zinc is 2+, silver is 1+, copper is 1+, 2+. All the rest of the fourth period ones, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, 2+, 3+, even though they have more charges. We'll get to those charges later. You need to memorize the ones that are on this video. You can watch this video over and over until you get it written down. Any questions, please call me. Now, that's the first page. Okay, oxidation states, charges taken on when bonding. When these things transfer electrons or gain or lose an electron, they become charged. They become ions. An ion is a charged particle. In this case, it's a charged atom. Okay? Now, you've got some other stuff to memorize. In your paper here, you'll see that you have to memorize Down at the bottom here it says memorize the formulas of the names of the strong acids and bases. There are 6 strong acids. You see hydrochloric, hydrobromic, hydroiodic, nitric, perchloric, sulfuric, and you see 8 strong bases. Lithium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. Next page. And you have their names and you have their formulas. Okay, right here. You also have to memorize these gas formulas, gas laws. Okay, here's my phone number, my email address, orcut@cghsfl.org. Email all work there. You then have to memorize some polyatomic ions. These are ions made up of more than one atom. You can not worry too much about the single ions because you're memorizing those on the periodic table. For example, aluminum is 3+. Remember back here, we had aluminum right here. It's group 3A, so it is 3+. So when you see it on here, you don't have to double memorize it. The ones you need to concentrate on are the ones that are polyatomic, made up of more than one atom. So that would start with ammonium. Okay. The next one down would be hydronium. The next polyatomic, you'd go all the way down to acetate, number 16. Okay. And that's it. Those things you need to memorize. Quite a few of them. But you got 2 months. Here's how I want you to do it. I want you to get a note card, ruled index cards like this. I prefer 5x8. I think you'll find they're easier to memorize because they're nice and big, easier to look at and read. On the first page inside, you can put, well, I put the periodic table out of our little book they give us, our journal or whatever it is you keep your assignment book. They have a nice periodic table in there. You paste that in the inside of this cover here. On the first page, I put my elements. I got hydrogen listed on the left, the symbol on the left, its name on the right, and I just go on down. Okay, hydrogen, then helium, lithium, beryllium, and I put the symbol on the left, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, name on the right, and then I can have somebody quiz me with them. You can have your mom and dad help you, a brother or a sister, a fellow classmate, someone. Okay. You also want to put in here, leave a few pages. You can list the strong acids and bases. I got hydrochloric listed, and its name, its formula, and its name. Okay. You can also put in the gas laws. Okay. I got Boyle's law, P1V1 equals P2V2, and finally the polyatomic ions. Okay. Put the name on one side, formula on the other. I got ammonium, NH4+, hydronium, H3O+, acetate, C2H3O2 negative. Okay. I put acetic acid. I should have put acetate. The hydrogen is not supposed to be there. So I got acetate, C2H3O2 negative, hydronium, H3O+, ammonium, NH4+. You got about 24 or 25 of these polyatomic ions. That's your memory work. Those of you in AP, you'll be reviewing that. You had that last year. Many of you have let it slip and didn't memorize them in the first place, some of you. This is your time to get reviewing and so forth. This year, unlike last year, there will be some memory quizzes throughout the summer. You need to check Edline every week. I will be posting in the same place you found this video. I will be posting some quizzes. I'll be posting any new work. I am making videos of how to do the labs. The labs will be posted there, and you'll be able to watch the video on how to do the lab and know how to do it. Pretty much, I'm going to give you instructional videos on pretty much everything. Okay? There is a packet of material you need to pick up at school. All honors, all AP. You need to come and get a little Ziploc bag. It's got some titration materials. It's got some pH papers. It has some chromatography papers, a couple of pipettes to use for titrations. It's got all kinds of stuff for you. If you need to get a hold of me, please call me or email me, preferably with questions. I'd like for you to call me. If you go out of town, I need to know. I need to know where you are. I'm not trying to keep track of you, but if you need help, I need to be able to get